What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Progressive Fit podcast at last. I'm still your host, Luke Lamont, and on today's episode, we're going to discuss your corona concerns. So the first 3 points kind of tie in with one another. So they are body composition changes, so predominantly fat gain, or lack of loss of muscle. Then we've got poor nutritional habits, and then we've got became lazier. So they're the three major concerns, okay? So they're all kind of related, and they all kind of come under the same solution and then tactics, all right? So the solution is a pretty simple one, and one that many people have heard, and that is eat less, move more, all right? Now, shouting eat less, move more to somebody that is struggling is like saying just swim to someone who's drowning, right? If you don't know how, you haven't got the tactics, then you're not going to be able to do it. So I'll run through some tactics for you, okay? So we've gained some fat because of our poor nutritional habits, and we became lazier. So they all tie in, right? It's probably all three. If this podcast relates to you, it'll be all 3 points that tie into the same sort of bigger undoing of everything that you've done previous to COVID, right? So the tactics then are probably first thing I would start doing is keeping a food diary, okay? Because it's so easy to eat a few biscuits in the morning with a cup of coffee, forget that you've done that, eat a few more in the afternoon, forget that you've done that, and then have a pudding after tea or in the evening, right? And have some chocolate or whatever. So it's so easy to forget that what we've had, because every day is rolling into the same day, right? Whether you're, working from home or you're just at home in general, if you're still in work, you've still got some sort of routine going. It's not completely normal, but you still got some going to and from your house, basically, right? But if you're at home all day, each day is kind of rolling into the same day, right? I forget what day it is most days. So keep a food diary. Try and remember what you've had. Remember that you had the biscuits this morning and it wasn't yesterday morning. Remember that you had the cake in the afternoon and it wasn't yesterday afternoon. This is why the importance of a food diary is going to be quite high, okay? It's not to count calories. It's not to put some pressure on you. It's not to guilt you into losing fat. It's simply so you can remember, all right? It's much easier to remember if you're in the car. I had a sandwich yesterday in the car. I had some crisps afterwards when I was in between meetings. I remember that I had a cake in the office this morning because it was so-and-so's birthday. So we had a piece of birthday cake. And then in the evening, you don't have anything because you had the cake that day. It's easy to remember these things when life was normal before COVID. We can remember this. But because every day's rolling into one, it's hard to remember. So that is why I would say tactic number 1 is just start keeping a food diary. Just become more aware of what you're consuming. Okay, tactic number 2 then is, again, a simple one. It's just snack swapping, all right? Just do simple snack swaps throughout the day and you might reduce your calorie intake. You might need to look at some packets and maybe use MyFitnessPal just to see how many calories are in each, but just start by doing some simple snack swaps. So it could be that instead of having 2 digestives, you have 2 rich teas. Simple one, okay? 140 calories for 2 digestives, roughly 2 chocolate digestives. Swap them for 2 rich tea. You're going to save about 80 calories, okay? For 2 rich tea is about 80 calories. So you're saving 60 calories, sorry. All right? So we do that multiple times per day. It adds up. We do it over a week, over 2 weeks, over 3 weeks. It adds up. It's not a drastic change. You still have your biscuits with your cup of tea. We're still enjoying, biscuits. We're enjoying that food that we like. We're just not having We're not having a higher calorie option. We're having a lower calorie option, right? It could be that we get to a point where we've swapped the digestives to rich tea and now we need to swap the rich tea to something else. So it could be that you swap it to carrot sticks or something like that, right? So it could be that at first we're having half a plate of rice and then we're going to swap it. This isn't a snack swap, but anyway, I'll roll with it. So half a plate of rice, and then we're going to go to a third of a plate of rice, and then maybe we'll go to a quarter of a plate of rice. And we just do little simple swaps like that, okay? So the changes don't need to be drastic, okay, when it comes to snack swaps. It could be that every other day, if you have a cupcake every day, it could be that you have one every other day. And then that snack swap then is a piece of fruit. Or maybe you don't have a snack, but you take up your 3 snacks that you have throughout the day and you have a meal. But we try and make that meal a little bit less calories than what the 3 snacks are, so that you got more touch points with bigger meals, get you feel a bit more fuller. include a bit more salad, a bit more veg, whatever in those meals, just to bulk it out, give you more volume, make you eat for longer, maybe make you a little bit more satiated because you're eating for longer, and then therefore you're more satisfied and don't reach for snacks as often. Okay, so there's all over social media, there are snack swaps. So you got the snack and then the lower calorie version. They're everywhere. A good person to follow is a guy in Scotland. I think he's called the Flexible Dieting Lifestyle Guy or something like that. But he does comparisons all the time and tells you what calories are in this and what calories are in this, and gives you the options of the lower calorie versions. Okay, so the next two options then are probably going to be the least favourite and the most heard in the fitness industry. Okay, so we want to eat less, move more. So the eating less part, maybe consider meal planning and meal prepping. Okay, now it doesn't have to be hours in one go. Hit the oven, prepping, cutting, chopping, doing this, that and the other. Let's make it simple. Okay, so all we need to do is, before we do our weekly shop, what are we going to have for tea each night? So all you've got to do is think of 7 meals. 7, okay? 7 different meals. Now, how to do that, the simplest way is to plan it from your protein out. So let's say on a Monday we're having chicken, Tuesday we're having mince, Wednesday pork, Thursday salmon, Friday chicken again, okay? We'll rotate about around. So from there, right, what we're going to have with the chicken, let's have some potatoes and then let's do like a nice little sauce, okay? Right, what are we having with the mince? Let's get some spaghetti and we'll have spaghetti bolognese. What are we going to have with the salmon? Let's get some new potatoes, some vegetables, a little bit of sweet chili. So you just think of these little things, okay? Now, we've planned the week ahead. We go to the shop, we buy what we need in our plan. So that's 7 meals. So what we're going to do now is the food prep part. So now when we cook our evening meal, we also cook our lunch. Cook our lunch for the following day. Now, it can either be the same meal. So for example, I said chicken, potatoes, and a sauce, okay? So you cook the chicken, okay? So if you're doing plain chicken breast, you cook the plain chicken breast, and then you have it the next day, maybe with some rice or some pasta that you've pre-cooked, because it can stay in the fridge cooked for, 5 days? So that's the week's worth nearly done, right? So you cook a bit of rice, you have that for lunch every day with whatever meat you had the night before. So the mince one works well. There's a bit of spaghetti bolognese. If you're having spaghetti bolognese, you're having the tomato-based mince with the spaghetti. The following day, you might have it with rice. Okay, so you mix it up a bit. You might throw a bit more chili powder in the mince, and then it's more like a chili, right? So you've used the same meat, but you've repurposed it, and you've only done one lot of cooking rather than 2. So that is what I mean by meal plan and meal prep. It doesn't have to be hours on a weekend slaving away. It's just simple things like that. Cook twice as much the night before for tea and have it the following day for lunch. So now we're going to move on to the solutions for the move more. All right. So the first thing we've got to do is get this notion out of our heads of what is perfect and what is ideal and what we want to do as an end goal. Okay. Because a lot of people, we go, right, I want to go for a walk every day. I want to get up at 6. I want to go for a walk. I want to meditate. I want to stretch. I want to do a weight session every day. Ain't going to happen. If you're at the minute sat on a sofa every day, not moving, you can't go from there to there. It just ain't going to happen, okay? There's a big difference between walking up a hill in the park versus climbing Mount Everest, yeah? You've got to build your way up to it. So what we've got to do, first thing, we've got to gauge where our current activity is and expand it slowly over time, okay? So I'm going to give plenty of examples now, just because I don't want to look and missing anyone out, right? So we've got somebody that's not doing anything whatsoever. So their start could be a 30-minute walk 3 times per week on days where they are least busy and have least force stopping them from going, okay? So hypothetically, this person isn't working, but they have kids. It could be that they go when the kids are in bed 3 nights per week. Yeah, but Luke, that's taking up my chill time with the missus and I want to be able to sit and watch Netflix. That's cool. You've got 4 other days for that, right? So could you look at giving 3 nights up just to go for a 30-minute walk? If the kids go to bed at 8, You can be out by 8:15, back for 8:45, quick shower, freshen up, bang, 9 o'clock, Netflix, right? So there are ways around it. Let's say you're working, okay? So you're working Monday to Friday as normal. You used to go to the gym. You used to enjoy doing the weight training side. In fact, I work with somebody like this, one of my clients. I hate that word, but just so we can understand that somebody I train, they love the gym side, the strength side. They hate the cardio part, okay? When I say cardio, I mean like doing a home workout, mountain climbers, burpees, blah, blah, blah. I hate it. I don't do it. So they were struggling. And for a couple of months, they didn't do anything. And in the end, you're like, do you know what, Luke? Let's do home PT sessions. So that's what we started doing. So we got a couple of dumbbells and we've just done that two times per week, okay? Just 2 weight sessions, 2 times per week for 45 minutes. So you might be working 5 days per week, but can we squeeze in something like that, okay? Just 2 nights per week. Or it could be that you work late, so could you do it 2 mornings or before you go to work, twice per week, all right? Now you might be somebody who's working on nights. Now if that's a 5 day per week thing or a 4 day per week thing, when's the least resistance? Is it the weekends? Is it your days off? Is it before you go to work? Is it the start of your night shift pattern? So if you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you start Monday night, is it that Monday? Is that when you've got the most energy, the Monday to Tuesday, and then it goes downhill from there? Can we get the sessions in the Monday to Tuesday? It all depends on you, okay? So let's try and find these little windows where there's least resistance, the path of least resistance, and that will help us gauge where we are, find that little bit of a step, and then go stepping on from there, okay? There's no point trying to do 5-6 sessions per week, 5-6 walks per week if we're not doing anything at the minute. We want to take it up a notch, 1, okay? You lose a bit of weight, what do you do with your belt? You move it down 1 notch. You don't move it down 5, right? You move it down 1 at a time, and it gradually goes smaller and smaller. Exercise gradually increase. Once it becomes no issue and you stick to what your goal is, hypothetically 3 times per week, no issues, no problems, you do it, you love it, then look to increase to 4. Not 5, not 6, you increase to 4. You increase by 1, you get used to it, you love it, and then you look to increase again. So you stay consistent, that's the key. So if you're somebody that is doing 4 lots of training per week, okay, and you're at home all day, and you used to be really active with work, but now you're furloughed or been made redundant or whatever. So although you're still training 4 times per week, you're not as active as what you were because you're on your feet 8 hours. Now that's a tough one. So nutrition will sort of have to come down to meet you a little bit because you probably can't eat what you want like you probably could. So now we need to look at increasing. So if you're doing 4 lots of home workouts per week, now can we look to increase the cardio aspect? Can we include some walking, power walking, cycling, running if you enjoy running, and look to increase your NEAT that way, okay? So something like that. Maybe getting a Apple Watch or a Fitbit, or just tracking steps on your phone, you know? It's super simple to do it on your phone. Just try and keep it in your pocket most times. And just track your steps that way. And again, if you're only hitting 4,000 steps each day, don't aim for 10, aim for 5,000. Increase it by 1,000. If you're hitting 2,000 steps per day, just aim for 2,500, 3,000. Build it up gradually, make it doable, get used to winning again, get that momentum rolling, and then look to increase, okay? So just to quickly recap, you want to move more, right? So you've got to gauge where you're at and then expand out from there. Gauge where you're at, you're not doing anything, right, I'm going to do 2 sessions per week or 2 walks per week. I'm doing 4 times per week, right, I need to add in 1 walk or 2 walks, okay? Just 30 minutes, something simple, something easy to win, and then go from there. So concern number 3 was that I've become lazy. Now, everything I've said, you're probably thinking, but I've become lazy. I cannot be arsed doing all those things, meal prepping, meal planning, going for walks. Can't be arsed. But now we need to look at our lifestyle, okay? And it all starts with sleep, all right? Whether you're getting too much or whether you're getting too little, I personally feel rough as if I've had too much sleep. So I've got to have around about 7.5, 8 hours, okay? And I've also got to be in bed around about 9:30. If I go to bed any later and still get 7.5, 8 hours, I still feel a bit ropey the next morning. I've got to be in around about 10:30, 10:45 at the latest. So we've got to look at sleep. Now, if you've been off and you're used to going to bed at 12, 1 o'clock, you've been staying up, binge watching Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever, and then you're getting up later in the morning, then you're going to feel lazier. You just are. So we need to break that cycle. So the first thing we need to look at doing is switching off all electronic devices at around about the time you want to go to bed. Then we need to look at calming you down, okay? So let's say we want to be in bed for 11. So we switch everything off at 10. Then we sort of want to get ourselves tired to go to bed at 11. Now, the chances are you get in bed at 11 and you'll be wide awake and you're not going to be able to sleep for hours because your body's not used to going until 1, 2 o'clock, whatever, okay? So the next morning, we need to get up when the alarm goes off. We need to set our alarm at a time that we want to get up, like we'd simulate that if we were going to work, all right? So if we're used to getting up at 9, 10 in the morning, but we want to be up at 7, we need to set that alarm for 7. We need to put it on the other side of the room, and we need to make sure that we get up at 7. Now, the chances are you'll probably fail, okay? I've done it. That's why I'm saying it. So we need to keep doing it. You're probably not going to get it first day. You're probably going to turn it off and jump back into bed. But the key thing is you've been interrupted at that time, which then hopefully, because you've got a broken sleep pattern there, will then make you more tired in the evening. So when you get tired, normally around about 1, 2 o'clock, whatever time you go to bed, it might be half an hour earlier. The next day, we do the same again. We set the alarm at 7, we get up, our sleep pattern's broken sleep, bit tired again. It might push back half an hour, okay? So now we're looking, instead of getting tired at 1 o'clock, we're now looking at getting tired at around 12. And we've got to keep doing that. It might be that on day 3, you turn off the alarm and you get up. And then you do a full day, right? And then you're sort of getting back into the pattern. You're moving slowly along the line and you're getting there, okay? It's not going to happen straight away. This, you've got to trust me with, and you've got to keep going, keep persevering through it. Don't give up because it didn't happen first time. Persevere, fight the resistance, okay? So it all starts with sleep. We want to try and get our sleep pattern back to normal. We want anywhere from 6 to 9 hours sleep. Well, 7.5 to 9 hours sleep. Some people can live off 6, most people 7.5 to 9, okay? We also want to look at getting to bed at a decent time. We want to try and calm ourselves down, whether that's taking a magnesium supplement, which just relaxes the muscles and just helps us doze off into sleep, whether it's turning off all blue lights, wearing blue light blocking glasses, and then continue to watch telly or be on your phone or your laptop or whatever. But if we can, try and limit it, come off it, maybe read, maybe empty your dishwasher, do the washing up, something where we haven't got bright lights hitting us, where our mind's not being activated through or stimulated through the TV, through phones, this, that and the other. Turn your notifications off on social media, turn your phone off if you can, and just try and slowly wind down for bed, okay? It could be that you take a shower or have a bath. You know, the difference in the temperature with the water will help regulate sleep in terms of it'll change the temperature of your body, so like spike it and then come back down, and then that can make you ready for bed. We want to make sure that the bedroom is only for sleeping and one other activity, but just sleeping, okay? We don't want the room to be associated with playing on your phone or playing video games or any other activity, reading even. You don't want to read in bed, you want to read outside the bedroom, so that when you go into the bedroom, you know that one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to go to sleep or get dressed or, you know, have sex. But we want to make sure that that is the only, like I'm doing this in my bedroom now because I've got nowhere else to do it. I live in a bungalow and my girlfriend and daughter are in the house and I've got nowhere else to do it. So my sleep has been drastically disturbed because I'm having to work in the bedroom. If we can help it and we can go elsewhere and do other things elsewhere, then do it. I get that that's not going to be doable for everyone. I'm doing it now. I'm in my bedroom recording the podcast, but we've got to be able to try and get out if we can, okay? I try and do the majority of things outside of the bedroom because I want this room to be associated only with sleep because that helps us go to sleep better, all right? So once we've looked at sleep, we then want to look at hydration. Then we look at nutrition and then your why, okay? So sleep I've just covered. So hydration, are we drinking enough? It's so easy when we're at home to not drink enough water. So we want to try and get at least 2 of these in, okay? So we want roughly 2 litres plus, let's say, okay? So if we go off 2 litres plus and then we try and work up to there, it could be that we keep it in the fridge or that we keep a little timer on our phone and just get drinking water, get yourself a bit more hydrated, get your cells more hydrated. You'll just feel better. You'll feel like doing more during the day, and then that might help tire you out at night, okay? The body is mainly made up of water. There's so much water in the body that the body needs it to survive, okay? So we must stay hydrated. So increase your hydration to help you feel less lazy, okay? So sleep, key. Hydration, key. Nutrition, we've spoke about nutrition. Start getting enough micronutrients, start getting enough decent macronutrients in terms of nutrient-dense macronutrients. So avoiding things like junk food, chocolate, crisps, pizzas, takeaways, things like that. Try and have less of that and then more homemade meals where you're having limited processed foods, basically, okay, that are nutrient dense. Start having those. Again, you'll feel more energetic. You'll start doing more throughout the day. You might then drink more. You'll sleep better. You might get tired sooner. And then it all starts to turn around, spin around like a cog, right? And it all helps each other. And then the last one is your why. So why do you want to be fit and healthy? There was an initial why you started. Can we get back there? Maybe you've got there, you've achieved it, and it's no longer, okay? So maybe there's a look for a new why. So why do we want to continue? For me, I've got 2 kids, 1 on the way. So I want to make sure that I'm fit and healthy and I can run around, play football with my son. I want to make sure that I can be a horse with my daughter. She's obsessed with horses, so jumps on my back and have to be a horse. So I want to be able to make sure I can do those things. If I'm unfit, and let's say if I'm obese, I can't run around playing football because I haven't got the fitness, right? It's going to knacker my joints. It's going to hurt my knees. I'm going to be playing for 10 minutes and then I'll probably have to sit out. I don't want to be that dad. I want to be able to run around the whole time and win in any race that I have to against my kids, to be brutally honest. But this is why, okay? So for me, it's my kids. For you, you might not have kids. It might be a different why. It might be your spouse. It might be your partner. It might be your other family. It might be your friends. It might just be because you want to live longer, right? So no one wants to really die, right? So we all want to live longer, and all this contributes, okay? So find your why and just remember it when there's a bit of resistance, okay? So we just follow these steps. Make sure we're getting enough sleep. Make sure we're hydrated. Make sure we're getting nutrient-dense foods most of the time, okay? Not to say you can't have pizza and chocolate. You can just include it in, but 80% of the time, have things like vegetables, meat, fresh meat, fish, eggs, and non-processed carbohydrates like rice, or even pasta, porridge, they're both processed, minimally processed, so include them. And then find out your why, okay? So they're the last key points on helping you move more. So guys, that is it. It's the end of the podcast or YouTube video, wherever you're watching it. I'd love to say this is going to be a regular occurrence every week, every 2 weeks, but I just don't know at the minute. I'm going to try and get as much as I can, okay? I've been fortunate enough today that the house has been relatively quiet. My girlfriend and my daughter have been able to play outside, but when it's raining, it's a different story, right? And when my son's here as well, and he's not at his mum's, again, the house is a lot noisier, and I don't want all that chitter-chatter in it. I want it relatively quiet with me talking and you listening, just so we can try and add as much value as possible. Now, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope it helped you out. Now, what could you do from here? You might try all this, you might give it a go, and you might just keep failing. That's cool. Failure is part of success, right? There's no success without fail, so keep trying, keep going. If something's not working, try a different avenue, try a different route, okay? There's more than one way to get to Spain, right? So you just got to keep trying to find the right path that is for you. It may be that you look to get help from somebody like a coach or PT or something like that, help guide you. It might just be that you ask somebody a question. If you're unsure about something, just ask someone a question. Ask me a question. I don't mind. I'm more than happy to help. I'm not going to charge you for asking a question or for answering a question. So if you've got any questions, shoot them away, okay? Now, as I say, I'd love to be able to say that I'm going to do this every week, but I just don't know. I will do my best to. If you've got any topic ideas, give me a shout. Let me know, okay? So hopefully I've helped with your corona concerns, and I will hopefully see you next time. And remember, make being progressive a habit.